Hello survivors and welcome to another video. In today's video we are going to be playing the assassin with a chaotic build as well as an ambush build, so a little bit of in between. And I was thinking to myself, which is the best character to run this on? I've been trying a couple of characters and a couple of things. I've also got other things planned for the assassin, the barbarian, and even other classes, but we'll get into that in other times. For now we're running the assassin. The build, we're not going to be doing a curse 7 run today. We are going to be doing a lower run, but as you can see over here, we can take a look at the current build. We are going to be running twin dagger, backstab, death claw, bloodlust, chaotic explosion, and chaos bolt. Very easy. Those three are the chaotic skills, and then we got bloodlust for the extra cast frequency, which will come in handy. We are planning to hit 0.2 second cooldown on twin dagger and on backstab, and then a short amount of time on chaos bolt and the other chaos skills, just so that the chaotic applies as often as possible. Then for our runes, we are running the multicast mastery, critical mastery, vulnerable target, and pulse of agony. And then for our versatility runes, we are running skill inclination chaos, weapon expert, and then the last one, there actually isn't anything that we needed for the build. Maybe you could go for reroll mastery, or if you wanted to go into endless range, you can go endless refill. I'm just grabbing myself efficient extraction just because I can. It doesn't really matter too much, but let's get straight into it. One thing I didn't mention yesterday, well, there's actually a couple of things. The first thing that I didn't mention is they seem to have fixed the trick with the overwhelming corruption. Now when you have any of the overwhelming corruptions ticked, you will spawn void hunters. It doesn't really matter too much to me. Void hunters really aren't such an issue when we are completely full tree like I am. So when your skill tree is completely maxed, you don't really have to worry about the void hunters. They melt anyway. As long as you have the assassin's ascension, this build is going to completely dominate. So let's go. We're going to play on the caves of Delog again, and we're going to again look at the enemies as well, because they're just really cool. And I just want you to see the assassin's ascension, ladies and gentlemen. It gives us increased cast frequency as well, crit damage chance, damage, movement speed, and multicast chance. And then every single attack is a backstab, which means we're going to get the bleed, and then also just a whack ton of damage from these other skills. And the reason I'm doing it on like the dungeon with the low curse is actually just to show you guys. And as you can see from the match history, it is very easily done on curse 7. I did it in 7 minutes with the exact same build. And then again, focusing on cast frequency, we focus on cast frequency, area of effect, and then crit and crit damage, just because of all of that. We don't really need multicast, but it is very good to get anyway. So when you've got multicast and as an option instead of like armor or block or things like that, then just grab it because it's going to work out for us. So we can actually lock the skills over here. Sorry, we want to lock the other one first. Chaotic bolt does have a lower cooldown, and it's just going to help us over there. The assassin duty ran away. He's running by the edge of the wall, so we can't even like see him quite nicely. There we go, there he is. Fantastic. We didn't have to kill him so early, but anyway, we did, which was a bit of a boo-boo. Okay, there's chaotic explosion. So over here we would focus on multicast. We're going to lock again because we've got bloodlust and we've got death claw, and then we're going to focus on now our area of effect and cast frequencies, just so we can get that juicy 0.2 second cooldown. Now, one of the best ways to know that chaotic is actually working is by using buff skills. You will notice that a bloodlust itself over here has the green bar when it is active. You can also see the slight shadow to show the cooldown of the skill, and you'll notice that sometimes before the cooldown occurs, you'll see the green bar around there for the actual duration of the skill. So hopefully we are able to see it now. But there we go, it just occurred right this second. You can just go back again, it just happened. So that is because of chaotic. You can see it keeps reapplying bloodlust. It doesn't add additional buffs to it, it just refreshes the duration before its duration is up. So it refreshes the cooldown of the skill over and over again before it is available. So really strong over there. Over here, just damage increases. We're going to go for the crit over here. We're going to go for the cast frequency. Again, focusing on cast frequency being the first thing to go for. Over here, we can actually re-roll. I don't want any of those. That. Expansion, potency over there. There we go. Some crit, relentless. Perfect. So we still need a bit more area of effect. We don't really have that much going on for us. It also looks like you can kill the bounty right in the beginning if you do have your max skill tree, because then the cooldown will be up by the time you fight the first bosses anyway, depending on the build and how many enemies you kill and things like that. But you'll see that the bosses aren't really that strong, and it's just a really strong build otherwise. So area of effect for magical, look, it's still worth it because it's area of effect, but it's more better to probably get this, the area of effect for thrust. Those are the skills we want the area of effect for. We don't actually care about Chaos Bolt, Chaotic Explosion, and Death Claw doing damage. They're only there to reapply our skills with the Chaotic debuff. So we don't really care if they hit or not. We just want them to have Chaotic. So the skill just needs to be used multiple times. It doesn't actually matter if they do damage or not. So we don't want the damage for all of those skills. We only want the damage for our main skills, which are these two over here. Okay, multicast again. We're just grabbing it because it's a rare power up and there wasn't anything better, but we don't need it. You can't, Chaotic doesn't apply with multicast. It only applies on the very first instance of the skill. So if the skill does multicast, it doesn't count the multicast itself. It only counts the first cast of the skill, which makes sense. And then from what I know, and I need to confirm this with the developer just to be 100% sure, but from what I understand is that if a chaotic skill reapplies another chaotic skill, that skill that got reapplied doesn't have its chaotic skill debuff or buff apply. So you can't have, like, if Chaos Bolt makes a Chaotic Explosion go off, that explosion that went off won't have the chaotic trait apply. So you can't skill chain them to have like insane amounts of skills going off all of the time. However, you can get them to be on extremely low cooldowns so that they continuously keep applying themselves. Alright, multicast over here, cast frequencies, some damage. Again, we don't really need the multicast over here, but there's nothing really much better to go for. And there's just something about this build, about playing with, twin daggers and backstab. There's just something about it that's really satisfying, like the sound it makes and the visuals of the skill, like just jabbing enemies. Kind of makes me think of those anime fight scenes where the guys were punching really fast. So it's just really funny, really cool, really appealing, and just fun to have a look at. Over there we didn't have our ascension up, but when the bosses decide to use their area of effect attacks, they do stand still and don't swivel around as much anymore, so you are able to just run behind them and smack them. So that works out very well. We are getting a lot of cast frequency on our Bloodlust, which we don't actually need so much. 0.5 seconds on the twin dagger, which is actually really low. We have got it down to 0.2 a lot of times, but it does just seem that for the video, RNG's decided, broken, we're gonna give you everything for chaos instead of for our nice twin dagger and backstab. So that's really unfortunate in case for that instance, but otherwise we're in a very good place. I actually forgot to mention, we didn't mention this yesterday, and luckily one of you guys mentioned it to me. One of the things that were added to the game is if we pause the game, there is a fifth option over here. So normally we got resume, settings, restart, and surrender. there is now skill breakdown. So if we click on it, we now see which skill's doing the most damage so far. It looks like backstab, which has been active for the most amount of time, and then we got chaos bolt and then twin daggers. And you can see your skills breakdown. I know there was a mod before from GitHub that showed it on the side over here, but the developers don't want a lot of UI clutter, which makes complete sense. So what they've done is they've added it in as an option where you can have it on the pause screen. So if you just pause, you can take a look at what skills are doing what damage throughout the run, and then if you like, oh, hang on, this skill isn't applying any debuffs, it isn't doing any damage, I need to change it out for something a little bit better, or you can just see the actual overall damage of every single skill before the end of the run if that's something you needed to see or wanted to see. So really cool that the developers are taking everyone's what they want, their ideas or things that they want in the game to help them with mathematical equations and getting stronger, easier and things like that, and they are applying it into the game in their own way. And I think that's just really awesome and really cool to see. So really cool additions and quality of lives coming from this update again. And there we go, 6 minutes 26. It was actually a faster run than the Curse 7 run, but obviously Curse 7 runs are a lot slower. And then right at the end we get the really good a relentless, however 55% cast frequency really isn't that strong, only on a 0.6 second cooldown over there. We needed more relentless, but we just didn't get them. However, backstab doing 8.3 million. It is actually my fastest victory with this weapon, which is quite cool. And then we went for efficient extraction, which didn't really give us much anyway. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please remember to like, comment and subscribe for more videos like this in the future. And always remember, keep safe survivors. Until next time, cheers.